In 2004, the Turkish state privatized its national alcohol division, Tekel. The sale included a massive portfolio of historic brands, factories, and a national distribution network, all handed over to a local consortium. The state relied on a literal physical valuation. Accountants tallied the bottling machines, measured the warehouse square footage, and counted the physical inventory on the floor. Based on these tangible assets, they priced the entire operation at $292 million. Within 24 months, that local consortium sold a 90% stake to the American private equity firm TPG for $810 million. By 2011, the operation was sold again, this time to the British beverage giant Diageo for $2.1 billion. A seven-fold increase in 7 years represents a systemic failure to value the operation's data ecosystem. The state saw machines and glass bottles, missing the void of invisible data, consumer habits, regional purchasing trends, and the predictive power of a national distribution monopoly. Pricing a company based solely on its physical hardware creates a fatal financial blind spot. It is the equivalent of valuing a top-of-the-line smartphone by the scrap price of its metal and glass, a condition the Tappy Fund calls data blindness. Traditional industrial assets, like textile plants or auto parts manufacturers, usually trade at a low valuation of 4 or 5 times their operational profit. These businesses are seen as rigid and reactive, highly vulnerable to physical shocks like machine failure or shipping delays. To bypass this industrial ceiling, VMM Capital developed the Dynamo Plan. This 36-month blueprint is designed to extract hidden value from these locally proven companies and transform them into global assets. The strategy aims for a total repositioning. By extracting unread operational data, a physical manufacturer can be pitched as a predictive data platform, moving the valuation from a 4x industrial multiple to a 15x software multiple. This plan allows investors to rewrite a company's financial valuation without building a single new factory or injecting massive amounts of cash. The transformation is driven entirely by data. Phase 1 occupies the first 12 months of the plan. This year is dedicated to discovery, cleaning house, and digital migration. Traditional private equity often relies on blind pools, massive piles of cash locked up for a decade. Managers face immense pressure to deploy that money, often dumping heavy debt onto a factory to force growth through physical expansion. VMM Capital uses a different tool, Oratron X AI. Instead of forcing growth with debt, this operational MRI scans the existing system to find inefficiencies that the human eye cannot see. The AI ingests decades of unread information, handwritten shift logs, shipping manifests, and electricity usage patterns. It strips away the physical shell to reveal the glowing data streams moving through the supply chain. The software identifies specific, actionable waste, such as a plant over-ordering raw materials by 15. It funnels straight into the internal balance sheet, allowing the company to fund its own digital transformation without expensive borrowing. Extracting hidden operational efficiency is mathematically superior to traditional debt. The company's evolution is fully funded by the value already trapped inside the existing system. However, software cannot navigate the human complexity of a third-generation family business. An algorithm cannot negotiate board seats with a fiercely independent local owner. VMM uses the IMSM model to align these human elements. It is a three-cornered architecture designed to create value through structural complementarity. This is an arbitrage of capabilities. The local partners provide the assets and the trust. VMM Capital provides the global regulatory expertise, and the AI connects the two. Each corner covers the specific blind spots of the other two. The Pilot 2.0 philosophy proactively replaces traditional navigation. Instead of just giving directions, they rip out the manual steering column and install a digital autopilot into the mainframe before the ship moves. This structural work includes a vital translation. They move the company from local bookkeeping to strict US GAAP and IFRS financial reporting standards. Translating local operational quirks into the universal language of global finance is the non-negotiable bridge to institutional capital. In Phase 2, spanning months 12 through 36, the digitized and compliant asset is ready for display on a global roadshow. To validate a high-tech multiple, underwriters require a resonant cultural moat. While clean spreadsheets prove the efficiency, it is the heritage-driven narrative that provides the psychological legitimacy for institutional capital. The fund targets a specific demographic, global Gen Z and third-culture kid fund managers. These individuals command massive capital and prioritize verifiable sustainability and authentic cultural roots. The Cultural Affairs Studio wraps the AI-optimized zero-waste supply chain in this specific narrative. It turns a boring industrial stock into a culturally validated brand that young capital wants to support. This leads to a dual-hemisphere IPO strategy. They take the exact same digital asset and pitch two different narratives depending on the market's specific appetite. In New York or San Francisco, the narrative focuses on high-growth tech scalability. They emphasize the predictive software and SaaS-like margins to secure a Silicon Valley valuation. In Asian markets, the pitch flips. Here, they emphasize deep supply chain integration, relentless manufacturing reliability, and the asset's strategic role as a geographic bridge between continents. Maximizing value requires this fluid identity. The company's data must be tailored to match the strategic hunger of the specific local capital. The 36-month journey culminates in a listing on a major global exchange, like the NYSE or the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. They no longer pitch as a textile maker. They are an AI-driven predictive supply chain platform that happens to output textiles. The physical product is secondary to the scalable predictability of the software ecosystem. To cement this trust with Wall Street, the fund relies on the psychological legitimacy of its team, specifically Aaron Nill. Nill's involvement creates a full-circle narrative. As a pioneer who brought foreign capital into Turkey in 2004, he is now the architect guiding those same assets back out to the global world. This proves the transformation is structurally mature. It signals to institutional investors that this is a natural evolution of an emerging market, guided by the veterans who built it. The TAPI fund functions as the ultimate arbitrage machine. The operational MRI cures data blindness, the IMECHE model aligns human structure, and the Cultural Affairs Studio provides the narrative moat. This equation summarizes the shift. A company built on physical goods and reactive supply is valued at a 4x multiple. But once it morphs into the new reality, predictive data with physical goods as a byproduct, it commands a 10x multiple. This raises a question for your own industry. What hidden habits, structural inefficiencies, or unread data logs are currently sitting right in front of you? Modern value is not created by building new machinery. It is unlocked by finding the digital tools to translate invisible operational data